Cheers, how do you do, Buckaroo, Sláinte, if you will. So I've got two beers. I decided to start this Saturday off with two beers, both from. I was going to originally do Tulsa, but I thought the one was from Tulsa, but it's not. So it's two Oklahoma beers. I had to redo my thing there. Anyways, let me get this fixed real quick. There we go. Now we're in business. So again, Sláinte, how the heck are you? Let me set this somewhere where. There we go. Mercy. So I'm going to start with this one. Really like this one. I wish it was a 4 pack, and I think this is my last one. I wish I'd have bought another one. 8.9%. Sneaky Pete from Mountain Fork Brewery. 8.9%. A Belgian style golden ale out of Hochatown, Oklahoma. Found there's some whiskey from Hochatown that is just insanely good. There we go. Show you that can. Let me show you how beautiful this beer looks, though. This thing is just gorgeous. Look at that deep golden on that beer. Holy shit. That just looks good, do it not? Anyway. Oh, mercy, Percy. Oh man, that's just good, man. I don't care who you are. Uh, the second one I'm gonna have with you, I'll show you the can now. Well, I thought I'd show you the can. There it is. It's an interesting one. It was recommended by the first liquor store I went to in the Tulsa area. It's called Astronaut Cookies Oatmeal Stout from Neff Brewing, but they're a gluten-free brewery. So that one was very interesting. Let's start with that golden ale, shall we? And no, I'm not really in this nice little snowy cabin behind me, but I thought it made a nice, nice presentation. I'm trying to create a mood, man. It's not quite that cold here in the Ozarks. It's actually not bad, but it's so gloomy and dreary outside because I thought about going outside, but the sun's not out and it's a little colder than I'd like it to be, and just didn't want to put clothes on most. Didn't want to have to get dressed, man. uh Beautiful nose on this one. I mean, it gives you those floral and fruity notes that you expect from a Belgian style golden. 8.9%. Wow, it's big. It doesn't feel that big though. Man, but those flavors are just incredible. Yeah, like I said, it's not that cold here, but it just feels cold. The sun's not out, a little wind going on. I was gonna go out to my bar area, and I'm just gonna stay inside. I'll put the snowy cabin on behind me, and we're just gonna relax, man. Made some bean soup. That's about done for lunch and dinner. Felt like that kind of day. Got both ham and bacon in there, but I say bacon, but the bacon actually looks more like ham. It's more of a European style bacon. That's what the label said anyway. Uh, Butcher cut, center cut, European style bacon is what the package said. But yeah, it kind of looks like that. Very meaty, smoky. So I wanted to put some ham in there, but I wanted to add that to give it that little bit of smoke. I do mine a little different than most. I cook it in the oven. Yeah, brown the ham in the little Dutch oven pan, and then I add everything else to it, and then put it in the oven. Brown it on the stove rather than I put it in the oven. Put everything and then put it in the oven, low and slow, at about 275. In this case, about 3 hours, and she's done. But yeah, I feel like it concentrates the flavors better when you do that rather than cooking it on the stove. I do my chili that way too. when I brown the meat, and when I add all the other ingredients, I put it in the oven to finish. And again, I feel like it just concentrates those flavors better. Oh, mercy. It's gonna be that kind of day. I am off today, but I don't typically work Sundays, but I am working this Sunday, so this is my only day off. So I'm gonna relax, trying to decide which wine I should pair with my bean soup. Anyways, yeah, yeah. I don't have a bottle of Ripple, or a bottle of Ripple, or some Mad Dog, or some Boone's Farm. Anybody else remember any Green Springs? There was kind of the same level as Boone's Farm. Uh, bottle of Ripple. Sanford and Son. Been watching reruns of Sanford and Son. Yeah, always had that bottle of Ripple. Ripple might have been a step above Boone's Farm, but not by much. Boone's Farm. Boy, I used to drink a lot of that Wild Mountain Grape, and Strawberry Hill, and then Tickle Pink came out. We used to buy a bottle of Boone's Farm. Most of the beers came in quarts back in those days, not 40s, but so we'd buy a bottle of Boone's Farm and a quart of whatever Schlitz malt liquor or Old English, whatever we were feeling that day, and we chug that whole quart of beer and then drink the wine. Or sometimes we chug the wine. Can you imagine chugging a 750 of wine? But damned if we didn't do it. Did that whole 750, man, chugged it. Uh, it's amazing I didn't do more damage to my body than I did, to be honest with you. Sometimes we did 2 beers or 2 wines, but we'd only chug the one, just drink the other two. But after a 2 wine and beer night, I woke up naked in the bathtub. Oh, mercy. I'm just glad I got home, to be honest with you. Just glad I made it home, man. Oh, glad my clothes were in the car, so apparently I walked in the house naked. Uh, uh, I'm just glad, photographic proof didn't exist back then. Nothing ended up. There would definitely be some YouTube videos of me had they existed in the '80s. Oh, this is a nice beer, man. Like I said, it's 8.9%, and it's hard to believe because you just don't taste it. It's really good though, man. I'd like to visit that brewery one of these days, and distillery for that matter. Yeah, that the Hochatown whiskey is just wow good, man. That stuff is crazy. Oh. Take a little break after this one and have some lunch, the bean soup that we talked about. But later today, later in the afternoon, probably I want to do some cocktails. I have an idea to do a maple nut old fashioned. So I'm going to add a little Disaronno maple syrup. Use the maple syrup to take place of the simple syrup. Do kind of a maple nut thing. You see where I'm going with that? They have some toasted almond bitters. So do a maple nut old fashioned. I've done nut, but not maple nut. So we're gonna give her a shot, man. I haven't decided if I'm gonna smoke it yet. A friend gave me a cocktail smoker set. They got to do one just regular first, and then maybe do a smoked. I got to figure out how to use that thing again. Got to put the propane in there. It was a bit of a struggle getting figuring out how to use it, and but it's been a little bit since I've used it. So now I've got to figure out how to use it all over again. Anyway, hey, what can I say? Anyway, I digress. Typically more of a Manhattan guy than an old fashioned, although I am warming up to the old fashioned. The only thing is for me is that I don't typically like ice in my drink, and most old fashions are served on the rocks usually. In your better places, they're just using one big square cube. But I like to make mine. I like to make mine straight up, just like I'm making a Manhattan. That's probably how I'm going to serve it today. I don't like ice in my drink. I'm a little different that way. I don't really use ice. I don't like ice in my soda. I've got a thing. I've got a little ice phobia thing. It's a quirk. I've been called a little quirky among other things. Among other things, trying to adjust that. There we go. I've been called a lot of things, but quirky is one of the nicer things I've been called. Tommy's a little quirky. Uh, yeah, I'll take quirky. All right, astronaut cookies, oatmeal stout from Nif. I believe they're out of Tulsa. Yeah, this one's a little lighter on the ABV. It's only 5%. Astronaut cookies, oatmeal stout, dark roasted rice and chocolate millet malts. All right, along with a healthy amount of toasted oats, make this beer taste like a dark chocolate chip cookie that was freshly dipped into the Milky Way. Let me show you that can. Let me give you the back side of the can if you want to freeze that frame and read that. I have had one of these, and it is good. It kind of surprised me, to be honest with you. The nose is crazy. Oh, excuse me. Astronaut cookies, oatmeal stout. Wow. You definitely feel a lot of dark chocolate, specifically on the nose. Excuse me. You do feel those whatever roasted rice, millet, whatever. You do feel whatever the hell that is. Was going to say roasted malts, but there's something different in there. Oh, man, that's delicious. Wow, that is just insanely good. What I really like about this, I mean, the flavors are great, the aromas are great, and I'll go into more of that later. But I want to talk about you. A lot of gluten-free beers. What I don't like about them is more of the mouth feel, right? The texture. They just don't feel right. This one, it feels like you're drinking a beer. It feels like you're drinking an oatmeal stout, flavored oatmeal stout. And usually, when you have a gluten free beer, you can tell it's a gluten free beer. They just present themselves differently. If I didn't know this was, if somebody just gave me a glass of this, I wouldn't know it was a gluten free beer because it tastes just like you're drinking a beer. But yeah, most gluten free beers, okay, you're kind of making, okay, for what it is, it's good, You kind of make excuses for them, and that's really how they've been. But boy, I got to tell you, this one does not feel that way. I mean, I would not know this was not a regular. I would not know this wasn't using traditional, malted barley. 'Cause it has all the flavors, the aromas, and again the texture. And I think that's where a lot of gluten-free beers fail is that they don't feel right. It doesn't feel like a beer. It doesn't drink like a beer. So you usually say things like, "Well, it's good for gluten-free. If for gluten-free, it's pretty good." But this one's just good in general. It just does everything it's supposed to do. Like I said, if somebody just handed me a glass of this, had I not known it was gluten-free, you can't taste that it is gluten-free. Oh man, it is absolutely delicious. I gotta tell you, this beer is wow. Typically, when I use the term fireplace beer, I'm talking about a big ABV beer. A big dark flavored imperial stout, or a Belgian quad, something like that, or barley wine, barrel aged barley wine. But this, even though it's only at 5%, it gives you that feel, that comfort, like that proverbial fireplace beer. That end of the evening, that dessert beer. 'Cause it has all those flavors and it has the warmth and comfort without being high in alcohol. That's kind of nice, actually. Yeah, it's a perfect dessert beer. This thing is gorgeous. I didn't get a chance. My wife and I were kind of there on odd days. It was January 1st and 2nd, and everybody was closed on January 1st. And I hit four breweries on the second. That's really about all I was going to be able to get to. So we needed to plan another trip to Tulsa because I really wanted to hit. There were several breweries I wanted to hit. I knew I wasn't going to get to all of them, and I hit those four. I hit the one because there was only one open at that particular time. The other three I was able to get to because they were. I mean, they were right next to each other. They were like 3 blocks apart. I went to one, walked to the other, walked to the other, and by then I knew I was done. I knew it was over, baby. It was all over, baby. It was over. It was a nice day though. It was a nice couple days off getaway. We hadn't been to the area in a while, and it was very enjoyable. Had some good food there, some good beer there, obviously. Had some good experiences at liquor stores as well. We went to the first liquor store we hit. It's kind of a small mom and pop operation, but they were so friendly and helpful that I didn't mind spending money there. The other one we went to, it was larger, but again, they were still friendly and helpful. And I'm trying to think of I don't think I've been to a liquor store here in Springfield this year that I can think of because I bought so much stuff there. But yeah. No, I haven't. And I haven't been making as many liquor store trips. Last year I made a lot less than ever. There were a couple factors though. I mean, I was down for a couple months with my knee surgery. But the biggest one probably is I was working for Banter, so I got a certain amount of beer there, which eliminated the need to go to the liquor store. I didn't go very often. Well, yeah, we loaded up on so much stuff. I haven't been to a liquor store this year here in town. Let me say that I haven't been to a liquor store here in town this year. I mean, it's only been a month plus a day or two, but yeah, still in all, I usually go to one particular liquor store. Usually, about the second or third to get what's clearanced out. Because I always clearance a bunch of stuff out, but I didn't even do that this year because I know I didn't need anything. Oh man, this beer is absolutely gorgeous. It really is. It's just good. It gives you all those flavors that they talk about, right? They mention like a dark chocolate chip cookie. Yeah, you do feel that, but you do feel that oatmeal note in there too. But yeah, you do feel that nice dark chocolate. And again, I wouldn't know this was a gluten-free beer if somebody just handed it to me without looking at the can, without somebody telling me it's gluten-free. You can't taste it. That's what's different. I mean, uh, I don't know that I've ever had that before, in all honesty. And this is the only beer I had from them. I wish I had more. Because gluten-free beers are rather easy to pick out. If it's not the flavors or the aroma, it is that mouthfeel because they just come across differently. But this one does not. It just tastes like you're drinking a damn fine beer. So there you go. Oh, excuse me. Mercy, mercy. Anyway, wrap it up, Tom. I am Tom, the beer whisperer, beer evangelist, prolific beer drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and biscuits and gravy. All around good guy, Sláinte. Thanks for tuning in, folks.